Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Agenda Now. Today, we're diving headfirst into a fiery debate that's got the whole country talking. I'm breaking down a Senate speech that's making waves, not just in Washington, but in every kitchen and food bank across America. So, picture this. Senator Rick Scott from Florida steps up to the mic. He starts off polite, but then, boom. He's calling out Congress for leaving federal workers and struggling families in the lurch. He's talking about government shutdowns, about paychecks frozen, and about millions of Americans suddenly cut off from food stamps. Now Scott doesn't just keep it political, he gets real, fast. He jumps into a story from his own life, growing up in public housing, raised by a single mom, not knowing his dad, and watching his family scrape by. He says, "When I see families struggling to feed their kids today, I see my mom all over again." That's not just a line, you can feel the weight of it. Meanwhile, he's painting a picture of what's happening in Florida right now. Food banks are packed, churches are scrambling to organize emergency food drives, and families are going hungry, all because SNAP benefits have been cut off. He says, "I just can't imagine anyone voting to stop feeding kids." That's how his speech starts, and it only gets more intense from there. Scott turns to the people he says are being hit the hardest. Military families, federal workers, the folks who keep the country running. He tells his own story, how as a young Navy sailor, he barely got by on $300 a month. And he points out that while these workers are left scrambling, members of Congress still get paid, no matter what. He throws down a challenge: no budget, no pay. Basically, if lawmakers can't do their jobs and pass a budget, they shouldn't get their paychecks. According to Scott, Democrats have blocked this idea again and again, and he's not having it. He calls it out as heartless. Then, he goes after Senator Schumer's latest proposal, calling it a joke. Scott says it does nothing for families needing food or workers needing paychecks, but somehow manages to help insurance companies and even millionaires. He doesn't stop there. He blasts funding for abortion, transgender surgeries, and healthcare for undocumented immigrants, saying taxpayers shouldn't foot those bills while American families are left hungry. In his closing, Scott makes one last plea: stop the political games, open the government, restore food aid, and pay the workers. He calls it a moral issue, not just a policy debate. So, what do you think? Is Scott right to call out Congress like this, or is it just more political theater? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you want more no BS political analysis. And don't forget to subscribe for weekly deep dives from Capitol Hill. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Agenda Now.
Florida.
All right. So, Mr. President, first thing I want to do, I want to thank all the senators that are speaking tonight. I can't imagine voting not to pay somebody. In my state, here's what's happening. We have people that are not getting food. At church on Sunday, the pastor asked if we would actually bring in a whole bunch of food because they knew because of what the Democrats are doing, people would not get their food stamps. So all the food banks, they needed way more food. I was talking to a reporter today in Tampa, and he said the line is unbelievable at one of the food banks he was at in Tampa today. And when I think about these people that are not getting their food stamps, I think of my mom. So my mom was a mom of 5 kids, so we lived in public housing. I never met my dad, and she had to go to farm-to-market stores and ask for food. She never got food stamps, but she had to go ask for food. So just think about what's going on around our country. There's people right now worrying about if they're going to feed a 2-year-old little kid. Can you just imagine what that mom's doing? I mean, I just can't imagine how anybody ever could vote to shut down the food stamp program to not feed kids. Then let's think about all these people not getting paid. So I'll give you my experience. When I was 19 years old, I got married. I was an E2 in the Navy, and I was making $332 or $334 a month. So that same person today, and I mean, my wife and I, she was making $75 a week as the legal secretary. So those people, if something like that, I didn't have $25 in the bank. They wouldn't have said, oh, it's okay not to pay the rent. Any costs we had, no one would have said, oh, don't worry, you don't have to pay it now. And so that's what's going on with our military. They have mortgages, their kids have school costs, their kids want to play sports, they might have medical bills. And my Democrat colleagues are saying they don't care. I mean, it's just like, did they ever live that life? Did they ever live the life that they are worrying paycheck to paycheck how they're going to pay for food, for the rent, for a mortgage? Do you think all the lenders are going to say, oh yeah, we know the government shut down, so you don't have to pay your mortgage? So I just don't know how you could not have a heart to open up government. I mean, we can have a policy disagreement every day, and we should. But to not make sure people get their food stamps, not make sure that people are showing up today, as Senator Cruz said, trying to keep us safe in the skies, our military that's trying to keep our freedoms, and the Democrats don't care if they get paid or not. Now, just think about it. Since I got up here, this is my 7th year, I've had a bill that says no budget, no pay. Right? The Democrats have blocked it, including yesterday, because they want to get paid even though they are making the decision that other people don't get a paycheck. They're not willing to give up any of their pay because, like one of them said, he has a mortgage. Why would he be expected to give up his pay? Well, they're doing it every day to all of our federal workers. I just can't imagine doing that. So what I'd say to my Democrat colleagues, open the government. Pay our workers. Make sure people get food, have food on the table. Don't ever, ever, ever in your wildest dreams do that to people in our country. It's wrong to do what you're doing. Senator Schubert came out and said he had a proposal. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. And I'll tell you why. Let's think about what they want to do. For us to be able to make sure that we start paying people, they get food stamps, they want to make sure insurance companies continue to get rich. So their proposal doesn't do anything. So right now, people don't lose their Obamacare subsidies. It's people that make over 400%, that's over probably $128,000, $130,000 a year, get subsidies for their health care. You could be a millionaire. You get a subsidy. So you say he wants to make sure millionaires get a subsidy for people to possibly get any food. Then he knows that Republicans are not going to continue to support a program that pays health care for illegals. That's wrong. Has taxpayer paying for abortion. That's wrong. Has taxpayers paying for trans surgery. That's wrong. Making sure there's about supposedly 4 to 5 million people don't even know they have these subsidies because it's just going directly to an insurance company with no responsibility by a consumer. All you had to do to sign somebody up is know their name, their birth date, their address, sign them up, insurance companies get all the money. Why would we ever support something like that? So I want to thank my colleagues. I can't imagine. It's heartless to not make sure people have food. It's heartless to make sure people don't have money if they're working. And so if the Democrats vote against Senator Johnson's simple bill to pay people that are busting their butt to keep our freedoms, keep us safe, do all these things, I don't know how you can go home and feel good about what you're doing. I yield my time.